Okay, welcome, Dan, Eisenberg, IsraTransfer, and Toviyah, Israel Properties. Guys, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is another part of our series of getting to meet and getting to know the people, the places around Israel, the providers um, that makes this incredible nation, Am Israel, Chai, who we are. We know that it's been very, very tough, been very, very hard. We're praying for the whole of Israel, for the hostages. It's unbelievable what's going on, but there is um, obviously a lot of light, a lot of positive, a lot of chesed, a lot of achdus, and incredible things are happening. And we, the providers in real estate, we're seeing that obviously it's been quiet for the first few weeks, but now it's getting a lot more inquiries and people who support Israel want to come and live in Israel. The dollar is a lot stronger now. People want to take advantage of it. And although the war has been fought and we have to pray and we have to do all that we can, we also have to continue and we have to live our lives. And that's what we're trying to do here. And we're really trying to support Israel businesses, bring it to you wherever you are throughout the world. And we believe very strongly that Israel is our home, it's our place, it belongs to all of us. And Israel Properties is here to help you find your home, your place, and where you belong. And today we're talking to IsraTransfer, who are the most trusted currency providers in Israel. And Dan Eisenberg is the chief, one of the chief operating officers there, one of the big names there. He's very known throughout the world. And we're joined with Dan. And Dan, we know that you're very busy, and thank you. And you're a good friend of ours, and we've worked together for so many years, and we've, thank God, done many deals together. And we're very excited to have you come on and talk to us and talk to our clients. And please, God, they can get to know you and they can get to see what you do, and you can demystify a little bit of the IsraTransfer process of buying and transferring Israel.
Well, thank you so much for the warm introduction. It definitely has been a pleasure working with you, Toviyah, over these years. I'm not the chief operating officer. I'm a simple salesman here at IsraTransfer, but I've been here for 9.5 years. About 10 years ago, when I was living in Riverdale in New York, I was thinking I was planning on making Aliyah, and I wanted to bring my money over, just as typical for somebody who's making Aliyah. And because I already bought my property, I built a house years before. And when I was building my house, I just sent money through the bank because that's how everybody did it back then. And I didn't even think about the costs. I didn't even know that was something that I could control. I just said, okay, I'll just do it. And I didn't even think about what was going on. It happened to be that it was at a time that the rate was very favorable. It was like about 4.25. So it was, and the housing then was cheaper. So it was, I didn't even think about it. And then I called IsraTransfer because I checked out all the different companies when I was in New York, and I was most impressed with them. And that's how I transferred my money. And it happens to be, once I came on Aliyah, I met the owner of the company. We clicked and they offered me a job, and it's been my job ever since. And I've been traveling the world, talking to people about purchasing property in Israel and on the financial side of what's involved, and just really trying to hold their hand. And I've been zocha to work with thousands of people. And it's something for each person. This is often their biggest purchase that they've ever done. And this has been a lifelong dream. And to be able to, it's a privilege. And I'm sure you share the same privilege. That's to right. Hold their hand and actualize the biggest investment of their life often, and a dream. So there's very much an emotional component to buying property in Israel. But it's a transaction. So it's very important that people surround themselves with experts that are going to safeguard their money, safeguard their investment. And because you're buying property in a foreign country with different rules, different styles, to have people who know exactly what's involved and have done it so many times before, so that there won't be challenges. Or at least you'll be informed beforehand of what are the areas that you need to invest time to deal with so that it's not becoming this mad rush at the end where there's pressure. Nobody wants pressure, especially nowadays. So as much as we can do to talk to people in advance, let them know what's involved, and have a good timeline so that we can go into this transaction and emerge happy at the end.
Okay, incredible. So exactly like you said, we're going to come back to the business part of it. I just want to go back a little bit because we deal with so many people making Aliyah. We deal with so many people. They don't know where they're going to live. They're going to know which community, Anglo community, Modiin, Beit Shemesh, Yerushalayim, Rehovot, anywhere, Netanya. So just a little bit about yourself. You say you've been here for about 10 years. You're from New York. Your family, your kids, how old are they? How long have you been here? Where did you choose to live or build your house? Why? What sort of community are you in? And, how do you recommend it? A little bit about the personal aspect, that we'll come back to the business side.
Sure. So about me. So I've been, interested in Israel for my entire life. I'm a product of the modern Orthodox school system in New York and the summer camps. And I guess I was one of the few people who actually listened, when they said, it's a mitzvah to live in Israel. I'm like, oh yeah, the same way you put on tzitzit in the morning, the same way that I, do everything. This is another mitzvah that we do. So that clicked on me. And then when I spent the year in Israel, I went to a Israeli yeshiva that has an American program, and it just clicked. Back then, I didn't have a lot of family in the country that was religious that I could go to for Shabbatot. So I actually spent most of my Shabbatot in yeshiva, just because I didn't, I didn't have that much family to go to. Yeah. And it came Hanukkah, and Hanukkah, they closed the yeshiva. They turned the dorm into a hotel. So wow. I was stuck. And one of the older staff members told me about this person he knew in a community called Neve Daniel. I never heard of Neve Daniel before. And I called him on a Thursday night, and I said, can I come for Shabbat? And he said, sure. And I said, can I bring a friend who was even more desperate than me? Mm-hmm. We came, and everything just clicked. I'll tell you what it was. And again, this isn't for everybody, but this is my story. It was a community that was small, had about maybe 100 families living at the time. And it was, everybody did things together, just in terms of where Neve Daniel is. If you look at a map, there's Yerushalayim. And when you go south from Yerushalayim, maybe 15, 20 minutes, you get to Efrat on one side of the road, and Neve Daniel is on the other side of the road. So close to Yerushalayim.
Beautiful area.
But it's a beautiful, we're in the mountains over here. Neve Daniel happens to be the highest point wow. in the whole area. I don't think there's a Beit Knesset, a shul, that's at a higher elevation in the country than the one in Neve Daniel. So we're 1,000 meters above sea level. Beautiful. So it's and when I look out my window, I can see the ocean when it's a clear day. Wow. So I get to this community, and I find out that they do things together. It's that there's a community as opposed to a city where there are different communities. But here it's one. There was one shul, one rabbi, and everybody eats at each other's houses, that it's a sense of community. And I said, oh, it clicks. And there was this area that they was waiting to be developed, and 900 dunams. And I said, when they're going to develop this area, let me know, and I'm going to build my house there.
Wow.
And after that, I got married, and we had our first child, and I found out that they are developing that area. So I got on a plane, and I went with the developer. I looked at the housing plans, the lots, and I chose the lot that I had the best exposure, the biggest area for a garden. The house would fit our needs, and that's where I'm living now. So I share this just as a tip for people, because when you have an opportunity to buy in a new construction, it gives you opportunities that you don't have in the secondary market. That sure. When you come in early, you're able to choose the apartment that has the best exposure. You're able to customize it. We knocked down walls, we put up walls, we chose our flooring, we chose everything, and we built our dream house. And that's where we're living now. We're raising 3 boys. My oldest is 18. He's in Mechina, a pre-army program. And because of the situation, they've started them with weapons training and physical training, spiritual training. Wow. And my son sent me a picture yesterday of him doing guard duty. And so that's my oldest. My middle son, he's in high school. He just started in Efrat. So it's a dorm school, but it's Efrat, so it's local. He comes home and he stays there. So he's very good. And my little one, he is in 5th grade, also in a local school that is a magnet school for the, not just Neve Daniel, but for all of Gush Etzion. Amazing. So we live here, times are tough. Don't, I won't shy away from that. But as a community, we're stronger.
Incredible.
Everyone's taking care of our neighbors, boys that are at the front, we're sending things to them. Boys that are up north, we're sending things, boys, girls, everybody that we can help, we're trying to help. And we have a lot of young mothers who are, taking care of kids whose husbands are now other places. So we're taking care of them. So we really feel a sense of community.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, it's now 20 years since I built my apartment that I chose my community. And wow. I've been feeling validation that I chose the right community. And I feel lucky. I feel privileged that out of all the communities that I could have been in, I'm in the one that is right for me. And they conveniently named it after me. So it's even better.
Beautiful, Daniel. That's incredible. Unbelievable. So lovely. So nice to hear. There's so many stories like this. That's the beauty of the Bruch of Israel. So, okay, you told us that you were trying to buy your property. You were trying to bring money over. You managed to get a job here. So, IsraTransfer, tell us about your business. What do you specialize in? What are your services, your products, the process?
Okay.
Who are you guys?
So we'll do this as like a little primer in terms of buying property in Israel. So property in Israel, it used to be the Wild West. There used to be stories of, contractors taking money, delivering on time, not delivering on time. And, you had people who either, they had a great experience and they got everything great, or there were the nightmares. And, people, it's 10 years and still not built. So there have been massive changes to the legal side of how property works in Israel, to the protection of customers. And one of the reforms is that property in Israel is listed in shekels, the local currency. So it used to be prices would be in dollars. This was at a time that the shekel wasn't as stable, so people didn't want to commit to pricing in shekels, and they priced it in dollars. You would still pay for it in shekels, but it was connected to the dollar. So if a person bought a property and had, let's say, 3 payments to make over 3 months, they were going to pay 3 different amounts in shekels just because it happened to be what the dollar would be at that day. So people were not really rate conscious back then because they paid according to the dollar value. When I bought my place, it was priced in dollars, but I had to pay in shekels. So, but now property is priced in shekels. So everyone has to be thinking not dollar-based, shekel-based. So apartment is not going to be listed for $800,000. It's going to be 3.2 million shekels. So you have to think in shekels. So once you're already in that mindset, the next question becomes, how do I get the most shekels for every dollar that I send with the least amount of hassle? Excuse me. So how do you get shekels in Israel? There are 3 basic ways. The first way, and this is the one that Americans are going to be the most comfortable with, and that's going to be going to their local bank, Chase, Citibank, doesn't matter, and they're going to say to their banker who they have a good relationship with, I'm buying a house in Israel. I need to send over, they told me 3.2 million shekels. Can you do that for me? The bank is going to serve them a cup of coffee. It will say, oh, sure, Mr. Cohen, thank you. You've been a great customer of ours. We can send it. We'll send the 3.2 million shekels. It'll be there tomorrow. And the person's going to walk out of the bank feeling great. That's the first way. The second way is, let's say they happen to have a bank account in Israel, and they tell their bankers, they'll do a calculation of how many shekels they need, and they'll send $800,000, and they'll leave it to the bank in Israel to do the conversion. The last way to do it would be working with a company like ours, where we're a foreign currency specialist licensed by the Ministry of Finance, as well as the Anti-Money Laundering Authority, to transact on behalf of the clients. Those are the three options. But each option has its pluses and minuses. So very quickly, the pluses of going with the US-based bank is that it's easy, it's convenient, it's simple. The downside is that's the most expensive way to transact. Banks in America charge typically 3% off of the exchange rate for the service of them changing your money from dollars to shekels and then sending it to Israel.
Okay.
That means for every $100,000, $3,000 evaporates.
Wow. Ouch.
That's a haircut.
Sure.
Banks in Israel, because we deal with shekels, they have a different pricing process. It's cheaper, but it's a bit confusing. I'll explain. And I just had this with another broker who sent money from their bank. They sent dollars to their bank in Israel, and they were trying to price compare. I said, no problem, do it. And so their bank charges them $160 to receive $100,000, $150. So when I explained to the broker, it says, but understand, that money that you paid, that was just for the privilege of the bank accepting to deposit your foreign currency. So the banks in Israel, they charge a fee for the privilege of depositing money. Now your whatever $100,000 is going to be reduced by that percent, whatever that percentage is. Usually it's about 0.2%. Then the bank charges again when you want to convert the money.
Wow.
They charge a commission. So we have a fee. Now we have a commission. The bank will call it two separate words, but really it's the same.
Sure.
Money's leaving your account for no reason. And then the third time the bank charges you is the rate that they offer you. So it's very important to understand the rates. And if I can, I'd like to share a screenshot with everyone, just so you can see maybe what this means. So,
thanks, Dan.
Let's see if I can do this. Give me one moment. So, and I apologize. I really did have everything ready just in advance. Okay, I got it. Okay, so you're able to see the screen?
Yeah, can see it.
Okay, so what you see over here, this is a website that everybody can go to called xe.com. X like X-ray, E like Echo. Okay. There are many sites that you can look at to see the rates. This happens to be, I think, one of the easier ones. And it gives a quote, 3.77, it's about 3.78. This rate over here is a rate that we call the interbank rate. So when a person typically goes to Israel, they go to a money changer, and they'll see two different rates. So in a day like today, if they go to a money changer, they'll see a rate. It might say 3.75 and 3.85. So what does that mean? It depends. Let's say you come with $100 and you say, I want to buy shekels. And they'll say, oh, no problem. So instead of them giving you 3.78, they're only going to give you 3.75. Okay. Or 3.7 even. They'll take from you whatever they can get. But now let's say you have $30 390 shekels and you want to have the dollars back because you're going back to the States now, instead of giving you the 3.78, they're going to be charging you 3.85. That's how they make their money. That's called the spread. Okay. Banks also have a spread. Everybody has a spread. That's how the currency markets work, and that's how currency operators make their money. So the goal of the clients is to get as close to this number as possible. So, so with IsraTransfer, with it when it's 3.78, they'll probably get. I could do the exact math, but it'll be probably about 3.76, around that. Meaning it's a very, very close. Yeah. A bank in America, it might be 3.6 something.
Okay.
Banks in Israel, it'll be closer to my rate. It won't be as good. It'll be closer to my rate, but remember, you paid 2 extra fees on top of it.
Sure.
So that's just in terms of to understand how the exchange rates work. What I'll show over here, just because it happens to be on the screen, is a chart. So this is important, and I'm going to, again, anybody who's not interested in math, or in this, you can fast forward. But for those who are thinking about property in Israel, you have to understand how exchange rates fluctuate, and because that's going to be the bottom line, how much it's going to cost you. So if we look over
just
here,
on that point, sorry, also after this, if they want to get hold of you, we'll give you details and they could go through this with you more.
Of course, I'm a nerd. I love talking these types of numbers, and I'm happy to do this with people individually, just so they can understand better of what's involved on the financial side of buying property in Israel.
Perfect. Yeah.
So if we look over here, just at this section over here, this is where things were October 4th. So this, right around Sukkot. And this is where things are right now. Yeah. So it's basically, if you look at it, we are even a drop lower than where things were before the tragedy. Wow. So, but look at this, is a huge look at this. This is from November 22. Look how far the rates have gone, from 3.43 down 3.36, all the way up to 4.08. Wow. What this translates to is a huge movement. And so the price for property in Israel will vary by so much. And so, but why this big spike? So basically, what happened was right after the war, people didn't know what was going to be, and the shekel market is a market. It's nobody controls it. Nobody can determine. The Bank of Israel can't say today we want the rate to be 4, and it's 4. The Chinese do that. The Chinese just say what the rate is, and boom, that's the rate. It's not connected to what other people think. They decide. The Israeli market is based on how many people at one opportunity are looking to buy shekels, how many people are looking to sell shekels. So when the economy in Israel is very strong and people are investing and they want to buy shekels because they're investing in Israeli markets, then that strengthens the shekel and it'll be on the lower end. If, however, people are nervous about what's going to be in Israel and they would rather have dollars than shekels, that causes the dollar to strengthen. And that when the dollar is strong and the shekel is weak, you have to give more shekels to buy each dollar. Sure. And that will cause the rates to go up. So right after the war, people are nervous. What's going to be? And so there's a lot more pressure of people selling shekels versus buying shekels. Now that we're already a month in, we're 40 days in, people are calming down. The streets of Jerusalem are back to being somewhat normal. I was there the other day. I was in Tel Aviv yesterday. There's a difference. People are on edge, but the restaurants are opening. Office buildings are there with people. So there's a sense of panic that is now being resolved. We're just in a new situation. We're dealing with the situation, but the government is strong. The government ministries are strong. And people are realizing that the economy is still strong. Israel's not going anywhere. So we're seeing those people who panicked are now going the other way. So during this period, there was an emotional trading. It wasn't a fundamental trading. So that's just some we call parshanut, some just like explanation of what happened. Why did it all of a sudden shoot up, and why is it coming down? As far as what will be, that you need a crystal ball. We don't know where things are going. It's dynamic. At the same time, I think we're seeing the shekel get stronger because the Israeli economy is inherently strong. We will win this war. We will emerge stronger.
Amen.
We will emerge more united as a people.
Amen.
And what I'll conclude with is that there's going to be a new Israel. It's going to be. What was can't continue, won't continue. And now people are feeling what's the situation in America and London and other parts of the world. And I really do believe, and I'm not, into politics, but I really do believe that the entire world in the past month has made the cause for Zionism as clear as can be. We need to have a country of our own that we can control our destiny. And I invite my friends that have not come here yet to come. Be a part of the new Israel. Be a participant. Be active. You have a chance to be an active participant in Jewish history, and you don't have to be a spectator. This is the place. Having even if you're not moving, but if you can have a property and that strengthens your connection, that this parcel of land in Beit Shemesh is yours. It's there for you whenever you need to go. It's there. And not just when you need to go, when you want to go. When it comes to be, next year, Simchas Torah. Imagine dancing with the Torah in Beit Shemesh. Imagine dancing Hakafot Shniyot in Yerushalayim. Imagine just keeping one day Yom Tov.
Yeah.
So I invite everyone for that adventure.
Amazing, Dan. Absolutely amazing. So insightful, informative, passionate, incredible.
That's me. This is I don't hide anything back. I don't have any filters. I'm sorry. What you see is what you get. And it doesn't take much for me to cry. And I'm just imagining that there's somebody who's going to be listening to this who's been on the fence. Do I go? Do I not go? Is this, that? And they might watch a video and they might get that little bit of inspiration and they choose to make a move, whether it's purchasing, visiting, Aliyah, and that little bit, that decision can change their family for generations.
Exactly. Incredible.
So that makes me emotional, and I'm very passionate about what I do. I love what I do. I love Israel. I very much enjoy helping people buy their property in Israel. I enjoy working with other people that share that passion and professionalism and honesty. And we're not looking to mess anybody up. We're not looking to take advantage of anybody. I come here, how can I help you save money? If I can help you save $5,000 on your real estate purchase, I'm happy to do that. But I please, share my information with people. If you want to send me a WhatsApp, an email, you have a question, I'm happy to answer. I work with people that are buying property all over the country. So for me personally, I really don't care where a person buys their property. I think the whole land is holy, and that if I can help somebody, so if people have questions about neighborhoods, I'm happy. I'm not a realtor, so I can't tell you how much is the property can you get for rental in Beit Shemesh versus Modiin. I can tell you who are the people who live there. I can tell you, clients of mine that have been there, and I can try to help with, some objective information. I don't have a horse in the race, but I really do when I get to talk to somebody, that makes my day. I'm not a person who sits in front of a computer all day. I need to talk to people. I need to connect. I travel throughout the States and London and Canada speaking about Israeli real estate. I'm passionate about it, and I would love to share that passion with others.
Unbelievable, Dan. What a schus. So beautiful to hear from you. And just to let people know, we've worked with you for years. You've absolutely jumped through hoops. We've even had deals where Chagim were coming in, we were against the wire. Your son, your office was all busy. You've sent your son on a train with documents to jump onto a bus and get to another train. Erev Yontif, Erev Shabbos, guys, IsraTransfer, Daniel Eisenberg, really one of the most trusted names, the Israel's most trusted currency exchange provider. Daniel Eisenberg, really passionate, beautiful to hear from you, beautiful to work with you. What a schus. Everyone should please go and hear your message, and everyone should come home. We should be zoiche, please God, as you say, we will win this war. Israel is going nowhere. We are here to stay, and people must come home. It's time to come home. And please God, we're going to help them find their place, find their home, find their investment, whether they're coming now, later, Aliyah. And there's, in South Africa, where we from originally, there's the big five. There's the elephant and the leopard and the lion. In Israel, in the property market, you got the big four. You got your transfer company, IsraTransfer. You need your lawyer, you need your mortgage broker, and you need your realtor. And there's, thank God, many, many professional providers. And it's such a schus for us to, thank God, do what we do every day to help people make their dreams come true and secure their future in Eretz Israel. So please, God, come home and be in touch. And Dan, it's such a privilege and such a pleasure to deal with you and to talk to you. Anything, just your last final comment before we go?
I think I said what I need to say, but my last thing is just really listen to your heart. You're making an investment. This is a financial investment, a transaction, but there's nowhere else that you're going to buy with your neshama as well.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Dan, thank you. God bless. And
thank you.
Be well. We'll be in touch soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. God bless. Kol tov.